Welcome to another episode of Counselor's Corner. I'm Jeremy Counseller, Dean of Baylor Law School, and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Julia Incerpi. How you doing, Julia?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me, to start off with, how far along are you in law school? Where are you?
I just started my third year, so 7Q.
Okay. In PC or no?
No, next cycle.
Next cycle, you'll be in practice court. One of the things I want to talk to you about is law school is not the first stop on your professional journey. You were a teacher.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I didn't really choose to be a teacher. I had a college degree and lived in Gatesville and spoke Spanish, and that lended itself to the possibility, and they needed a Spanish teacher. And I mean, the district directors kind of hounded me for several years and asking me to get licensed, and I ended up doing it, and it worked out. With the pandemic, it was much better than selling ads for the newspaper, which is what I had been doing, but it just wasn't for me. I enjoyed it. It was very creative, but it just wasn't going to work out for me in the long term.
What grades were you teaching?
Mostly freshmen.
Okay.
High school.
I have noticed in recent years we have had a lot of law students who have sort of their experience as a public school teacher has caused them to realize, I think I'm going to go to law school. So they're generating students for us, the public education system. But I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and that you've done. And I'm wondering how that experience teaching might inform how you handle law school or how you approach law school.
Well, for example, in your class, one time I asked a question and you said that I didn't need to ask the question because you knew everything that we were going to ask and that you would cover it, and that it was Groundhog Day. And I was like, oh, that was my experience also as a teacher. And so I still ask questions sometimes, but I ask fewer questions and just I trust that the professors know what they're doing, because y'all have been doing it for so long and are so great at it.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I don't have godlike powers. It's just that when I say Groundhog Day, you mentioned Groundhog Day, I've taught the course civil procedure so many times that everything that happens in the classroom has happened before. So I know kind of what's going to happen before it happens. And there's multiple iterations. I mean, there's 50 different ways when I say something that might pan out in terms of student reaction, but I know I've experienced all of them. But yeah, it is kind of like there's a repetitive aspect to teaching, and you either like that or you don't like that. I really like that aspect of it.
It was nice to have the predictability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I taught Spanish 1 most years, 7 classes of Spanish 1 in each day, and so I just kept them all the same, and I too could anticipate the questions they were going to ask, mm-hmm. and started telling the same jokes, and it's just kind of a script, and you just adapt to the circumstances.
To me, it's always amazing, if you're a public school teacher, how much you teach. Like 7 classes a day. That's a ton. I mean, that is a ton. A university or law school professor, 7 classes a day, nuts. They would never do that, but walk out on us if we try to get them to do that. So the most important role, I'm sure you would agree, that you have is you're a mom. Yes. So tell us about your child and kind of where they are in life and how you balance all that with law school.
Well, my son, I'm just so grateful for him. Salvador is really helpful, and he's gotten so much more helpful. He helps with dinner, and he does a lot of chores around the house. And
how old is Salvador?
He's 9.
Okay.
He just turned 9.
Yeah.
And so, just something simple. He might make some pizza pockets or something frozen like that, but just not having to be responsible for dinner some nights is huge.
Because you're a single mom, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you and Salvador are in this thing together, I guess. This whole law school
and
adventure.
my grandma.
And your grandma.
He helps also with her too.
Well,
so
I want Salvador and your grandma. I hope they listen to this and they can hear me say how proud we are of you and how happy we are to have you here and how well you're doing as a law student. And you're going to be a great future lawyer. So
Thank you.
make sure Salvador hears at least that part. The rest of this will bore him. Okay. You are commuting. You mentioned Gatesville, which is about, like 25 miles west of here, 30 miles west of here?
I think it's a little further than that. When I started, my commute was about 45 minutes, and that seemed fine. And now with all the construction, it's almost an hour, and just that extra 15 minutes seems more.
You're coming in on Highway 84.
Mm-hmm. And so I just take 84 now to Franklin, and I just take Franklin all the way to University Parks. And
so you've got like an hour and a half to 2 hours every day in the car.
Yes.
What do you do with that time?
So if I am having a hard time keeping up with my reading, I use an app that reads my readings to me. It's not ideal.
Yeah.
It's not the same as
touching the
down.
page. The tactile thing is important.
Writing.
Yeah.
So I'll compensate by when I get back, I'll try to take notes on the page.
Please don't take notes while you're driving.
No, I don't do that.
Okay. Please don't do that. We need you safe.
Yes. But sometimes I can't do that. It's going to put me to sleep. And so I'll listen to music or other podcasts.
Okay. What podcast do you listen to? That's what I would do at the time.
There's a comedian, Gianmarco Cerezi, and he has a podcast called The Downside, and it's funny.
Okay. So I'm have more serious tastes in my podcasts. Probably to my detriment, but
but I am also in class all day
listening
that's true. To serious stuff.
That's
so.
true. You need a little. Whereas I'm just goofing around all day in my job,
I'm
so
sure.
I get in. I need something. I need something serious. So what advice? Because we do have a lot of students who commute. I mean, we have some students who commute from the Metroplex, in the Austin area, all over. What advice would you give to someone who may be considering coming to Baylor Law School, is thinking, well, I'm going to have to drive 30 minutes or 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I always wonder, would I do so much better if I had that extra time that most of my peers have to be studying? And, it's just my reality. It's doable. I know some of my peers that are doing an hour and a half. That seems like one way. Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
But they do it and they're successful. Yeah. Christina Woodall is, she's now with Judge Gilliland.
Yeah. She's great.
She's amazing. Yeah.
It's one of those things I would think that emphasizes or places a premium on something that's important for all law students, regardless of the length of their commute, is time management is so important. And if you're spending 2 hours or 3 hours a day in a car, it's even more important.
Yeah.
You've got to use your time well, both for studies and for the other things you have going on in your lives. And you don't want to lose your relationships either while you're in law school. So it puts a premium on that for sure. You have lived in multiple places outside of Texas. Where are you from originally? Are you from California? Am I right about that?
So I always say it's kind of complicated. I was born in Venezuela.
Okay.
And then when I was 4 years old, my grandparents brought me to Gatesville in the same house that we're living in now, because my grandfather was from Coryell County, and he worked for ExxonMobil in Venezuela, and that's how he met my grandmother.
Gotcha.
Then my mom came up afterwards, and we're from the capital. She did not want to live in Gatesville. So my uncle lived in San Francisco. So yes, I grew up in San Francisco, did my K through 12 there. Then I did my associates in Portland, Oregon, and then got my bachelor's at the University of Montana in Missoula.
So how does Texas stack up against all? I mean, just thinking about the person who's like, I might want to go to Baylor Law School, but I'm not so sure about Texas, or not so sure about Waco. How does that, or the Waco area, how does that stack up compared to other places you've lived?
I like the slower pace of life that I have in Gatesville.
Because Gatesville's smaller even than Waco.
Yeah. I mean, it's 5 minutes to HEB. You know everybody.
HEB is the only grocery store in Texas, by the way, for those who are listening out of state. It's a great one, but it's one of the few.
It's really good. They've got a lot of good stuff. And yeah, and then Waco has a lot to offer, I think, for being as small as it is compared to other cities. And then you've got Austin, Dallas, Houston. They're not very far away. So I think you can do, if you're willing to drive, which if you live in Houston, you're going to be driving an hour and a half all the time anyways.
That's right.
So
you're an hour and a half from Houston when you're in Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I like about Gatesville? The drive-in movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
I love that about Gatesville. We used to take the kids there and watch movies, but that's a great feature of Gatesville. And also, Gatesville is the place as you go west where the topography sort of changes. It becomes hillier and more rugged, I think, than Waco. So there's a lot to recommend Gatesville as well. Okay, now I want to talk about some of the things you've done in law school. You are the president of HALSA, which is our Hispanic American Law Student Association. Talk about your role in that organization, and then what the work of the organization is.
So I think that its role mostly, I would say there's two parts to it. One is to support the Hispanic community here at Baylor Law School, but another is also to showcase and celebrate Hispanic culture and share that with the general population. So I work a lot with Catherine Sims, and of course
who's Director of Student Affairs.
Yes, and with Professor Hernandez, who's our advising professor. So we did a Loteria's Mexican Bingo. We did a game last quarter. We've started our candy sales annually, started with me last year, and for Hispanic Heritage Month, and that's been a hit with people. And Sims did a great job with the celebration with the tamales. And I don't know if you were able to go. It was on October 15th.
No, I didn't go.
Okay.
I wasn't here that day, I guess.
But it was
but
really
the student organizations here, including HALSA, really add to the vibrancy of just the feeling in the building. I mean, there's always something cool going on, and all of our student organizations are open to all students. So it's a really great opportunity for students to get plugged in, do some good, get involved, meet their people, and kind of the people they're going to be closest to in law school. And I hope it's been that for you.
I've made a lot of friends through the members, and not just in HALSA, but also working with the other affinity groups, which would be the Black Student Organization, the Asian Student Organization, working together under the broader diversity in law umbrella to, I guess, support each other and celebrate each other.
Yep. Okay, I want to talk about what you did this past summer. Well, tell me what you did this past summer. What sorts of things did you do?
I did, you mean?
Yeah, for work.
Okay. I did an internship with the Greater Waco Legal Services organization, and just wrote a lot of memos. And it reminded me, just going back to LARC 1 and 2 and how huge that seemed then.
Yeah.
And then actually doing it and just churning them out, sometimes one a day or more. And
did you have a moment where you're like, I can't believe I can do this so quickly now compared to how hard it was the first? Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of those things. I remember this as a student and a young lawyer. You look back and you go, I'm better at this than I used to be. I mean, it's still hard, but I'm better at this than I used to be. Yeah.
And the writing program here is so great. I think I've grown a lot as a writer and learned to be more concise and just hit the things that need to be hit without going over, and getting those arguments more finely tuned. and all that.
And you also worked for a law firm, I think, Pacus Jodas. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
That was also great. They are a general law firm. They do a lot of different things, and I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing a little bit of personal injury stuff here, and then also some business stuff here and property and writing memos, but also writing letters for clients and some litigation things. So
not that you need to know, but where do you want to go in your career? Not that you don't have to know it now, but what are you thinking about in the future after graduation?
I'm going to stay here in the Waco area, and I'm really happy. I was just talking to Catherine Sims this morning because I just have loved my time or am loving my time here in Baylor, and I love the community here and everybody that I've met and the support, and I look forward to being able to maintain that more easily staying in the area.
Yeah. Well, you make it easy to support you. We want to root for you and help you in any way we can. So we have now come to the lightning round. Okay. Lightning round. Questions are silly. Answers have to be short.
Okay.
What's the last book you read for fun?
I'm reading Snow Crash.
What is that?
It's a sci-fi book.
Ooh, I like sci-fi.
Oh, it's really good.
Okay, Snow Crash.
Snow Crash.
Snow Crash.
It's got like anthropology stuff, and I think it was written in the 80s, and he's talking about the metaverse, which is like the internet, but it's, kind of a virtual reality thing. And drones. When I first read it in the early 2000s, we didn't have drones.
So you're rereading a book.
I always reread books, especially now that I'm in law school, because that way I can pick it up and put it down more
So I
easily.
rewatch movies and television shows, but I don't reread books. When we get off the air here, I'll give you a recommendation for my favorite sci-fi book.
Okay.
Snow Crash. I'll keep that in mind. All right, I've totally messed up the lightning round here. Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
I believe that everybody can do what they want with their pizza. I'm okay with it.
That is just a cop-out. You have to say yes or no. Pineapple on a pizza for you.
Sure.
That's incorrect. Favorite movie as a kid?
The Never-Ending Story.
I like that. It kind of scared me.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. I don't know why.
is,
It's kind of
yeah.
scary. Best way to eat a potato?
Mashed.
Favorite fast food restaurant?
Whataburger.
You're a Texan. You're a Texan. What meal do you make the most for yourself? Or you and your family?
Yeah. Most often, right now, probably like nachos or bean dips, something like that.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Correct. You are going to compete in an Olympic sport. What is the sport?
Oh. I don't even know what the Olympic sports are. I don't. Sprint, maybe.
Okay, there are various ones. Yes, that's good. Okay, I understand you have a question for me.
Yes. Okay. So we both have children.
You do.
Well, you have more than I do. But talking about Salvador again, he has been talking about becoming a lawyer when he grows up. And sometimes now that he's watching me study late into the night, he's like, maybe I don't want to do that. But with your daughter having aspirations to go to law school, how do you encourage your child, maybe without pushing them, but how do you encourage them and support them on that journey?
So you may remember me saying this in class, but I have 3 children. I've told them since they were very young, all 3 of them, I've told them this, both individually and collectively. I want 1 doctor.
Which you have, right?
1 on the way, 1 lawyer, and 1 priest. So my son's in medical school, my oldest. He had 3 choices. He could be doctor, lawyer, or priest. He went doctor, so that's now off the table. My middle child will be going to law school in the fall. She doesn't know where yet, but she's going to go to law school in the fall, so that's a lawyer. My youngest is stuck to be a priest. Now, according to her, God has not called her to the priesthood. But he told me. And so I've just told her, he did call you. And so either he misspoke or you misheard. Take your pick. And so I think we're all going to need to pray for her when she finds herself enrolled at Truett Seminary in a few years. I never told my kids you should be a lawyer. I did encourage my son to pursue being a doctor because he had some interest in that.
Mm-hmm.
I think your son is probably going to find a lot of inspiration, probably does already. I mean, he's 9. That's a hard thing for a 9-year-old to understand what's
Right.
going to inspire him in the future. But I'll tell you what, he's always going to admire you for doing it. His whole life is built on what you and your grandmother are doing for him right now. You're not just raising the trajectory of your life through your education, you're doing that for your son as well. So whatever he does, you're laying the foundation for that in what you're doing. And I think the advice I would give my kids, I mean, putting aside the doctor, lawyer, priest thing, is just, find something you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important because if you're good at it, you're going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that is what they do. My son likes what he's doing so far, which I was worried about.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big long road.
Yeah, it is.
I just think tell them to find something they're good at, and then if they find something they're good at, they'll like it and they'll have a great career. So, Julia, thank you so much.
Thank you.
By the way, my daughter's a huge fan of yours.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of hers.
She's a huge fan. Full disclosure, my daughter works in the career development office as a student worker, so undergraduate student worker, and she's a big fan. So,
Thank you.
Thanks, Julia.